When you hear your parents start talking about marriage and who is your girlfriend and all of those things, then it's a sign that look, you're actually growing. You understand? So to save you a lot of time when it comes to inviting people at your wedding, I'm going to be teaching you how you can create an interesting wedding invitation inside of Canva. And this is not just the regular kind of invitation, actually very simple but very classy. I'm sure anyone you invite for your wedding would be impressed. You understand? So let's dive into Canva and let's get started with the design. So here we are in Canva. We have a blank canvas in here. The first thing we would have to do is to come to element, okay, and in element we'll just search for silk, okay, silk, and we have so many options in here. We'll come into photos and you can choose any of these options you want, but I want something that's something like this. You know, it looks minimal, so I'll rotate it to 90 degrees and would increase the size. Okay, so we have it like this, and if you want, you can just come to transparency and reduce the transparency a little bit. So I have mine at 63. You can keep yours at any percentage you want. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to come back into element. Okay, and let me just close this up, and what you can search for is golden circle. Okay, so golden circle, that's what we have at the moment, and there's so many options in here. If you come to graphics, you would see there are a lot more we have in here. Okay, so you can feel free to pause this video and go through the list, okay, just to choose the one that works with you. Okay, so we have all of these ones over here. I think I'll stick with this and increase the size a little bit, so something like this, and I'll just add a second one, something like this. Okay, we'll just add it and reduce the size so we have it looking like this. Okay, you can also decide to add another one. Okay, and I'm going to rotate this one to something like this. Okay, and reduce the size just like this. All right, and just have it positioned nicely. You can see what we have at the moment. All right, then press C on your keyboard. Okay, and you can increase the size, make it white. Okay, so we're just going to make this white over here. Then what we are simply going to do is we are going to send it to the back. So all you can simply do is to click away first, right click, come to layer, okay, and come to show layers. Okay, so we have, you know, this one over here. We are just going to move it to the back. Okay, it shouldn't be behind the silk, it should be on top of the silk. All right, so we have something like this. Then what we are going to do now is to come into element again. Okay, and in element you are going to search for flower. Okay, so flower, there are so many flowers we have in here. Then come to photos. Okay, and this is the photo I am going to use. All right, so I'm going to use this, and you can change the color if you want. And just in case you don't know how to change the colors of any photo in Canva, it's actually very easy, and let me just show you how you can do that. Okay, so what you can do is, first of all, have the photo selected, come to edit. Okay, in edit, make sure you're coming to adjust. All right, and adjust, there is a long list of stuff we have in here, but what you can simply do is you can just scroll down. Okay, and you should see something called color edit. Okay, so once we have color edit, you can just choose the dominant color, which is the red. Okay, once you click on it, you see there are three main options: hue, saturation, and brightness. Hue refers to the main color, saturation depends on how much of the color you want. Okay, and brightness depends on how light or dark you want the color. Okay, the more light you have in the color, or the more white or blacks you want to have in the color. Okay, so once we slide the hue, you can see that's when we are changing the color. If we increase the saturation, we add more of that color. Okay, and if you increase the brightness, you know, you make the color brighter or, you know, darker. So that's all you need to know about this. Okay, so we have this over here, and I think this is fine. So depending on the wedding colors of whoever you're designing this for, if it's yourself, you can use your wedding colors. Okay, so we have this here. Come to edit again, come to blur. Okay, we have all of this here, but what we need to focus on is these options. We have brush and we have whole image. So come to whole image, and we are simply going to increase the intensity a little bit. Okay, so something like 51 should be fine. Okay, then you can just close this up. We have this over here, and we are going to make duplicates. Okay, so duplicates just like that, and we can reduce the size. Okay, Yeah, just to make it interesting, that you can just make duplicates of this and you can maybe rotate to keep it interesting. Okay, so something like this. All right, so this is what we have at the moment. Okay, so you can just tuck things in and just make things look beautiful. What we can do now is to right click again, come to layer, come to show layers, and we have all of these flowers in here. Okay, so you can select maybe the top one. Okay, then scroll down, you should see the last flower in here. Press and hold shift and click on it. All the flowers will be selected. Okay, you can group them, okay, just to make it easy to move them around. So you just move them to the white circle, behind the white circle. Okay, and that should be fine. All right, so we can see what we have at the moment. Very easy, very simple, but we'll need to tweak some of the flowers. Okay, so you can now ungroup them. Okay, and if you want, all you can just do is to make sure you're selecting the appropriate flower, and I'll just move them up a little bit. Okay, if you want to be able to click on elements that are behind, press and hold control while you click on them. Okay, so I'll tag this in. This one too can come in. This can also come in a little bit, and I think it looks very good as it is. The next thing we can do is adding the names. Okay, so let me just do this nicely and zoom in a little bit like this. Okay, so we are going to be adding the names. You can press T on your keyboard. Okay, and once you have the name in here, you can put in anything. So let's assume the first name is Benjamin. Okay, let me just use myself. Okay, so we make it italic and we make it bold. All right, no, you make it italic and you increase the size as well. Okay, so something like this. All right, and the second name we can have any name at all. Let me just put Miranda over here. Okay, then we can just duplicate this again and just say end. All right, so then I'll make it smaller. Okay, very, very nice. So we'll keep it like this. Okay, and move this also to the top a little bit, and we can just select everything and rotate it slightly. You can keep it straight if you want. Okay, but I prefer it to be like that. So let's change the color. I'll use a dark purple for it. Okay, just to keep the colors the same. So we move this up, and we would also move this up a little bit. Okay, now I just want to tweak things a little bit. Let me just move this. Yeah, then we can add the extra information. So what I'll simply do is I'll duplicate this, bring it down over here, and come to rotation. Okay, then come to arrange. You should see arrange over here. Okay, so come to arrange, and if you come down, you see rotation. Okay, so I'll just select this rotation. I'll make it 0. Okay, so that everything is aligned properly. So we are just going to write something over here. So all I'll just say is Benjamin and Miranda invite you to our wedding at. Okay, so we just keep it like this, and I would remove the italic from it. Okay, so that's all you need to do. And what you can do is also to just keep it to the center. Okay, and let's change the color as well. Let's keep it golden. Okay, we should let it match the golden stuff we have in here. And let me close this. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment as well. Okay, so the next thing we can do is add the date and time and all of those interesting things we have, we can do. So if you're going to do the same thing over here, now remove the italic, and the date maybe let's say is 29th. Okay, let's make it 29th, and we are just going to increase the size. Okay, so 29th like this, and maybe September. Okay, so September. All right, and just put it here, reduce the size like this. Okay, then we can add a line, come to the line style or the border style, whatever it is. Then we can reduce the line weight to 2. Okay, then we can also rotate it. Okay, so we come here, we make it 90 degrees. Okay, just to keep it vertical, and let's reduce the length of it to something like this. Then we can just move it somewhere here. Okay, and duplicate it. Oh, editing duplicate, then duplicate it to something like this. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. Then we can also add the various stuff we need to add, which is the location and time, because every wedding needs to have a location. Okay, so I'll bring this closer, and I'll also bring this closer. Okay, closer. Next thing we can just do is just duplicate this. Okay, and the location. So duplicate this in the location. I will just say everywhere. Okay, so everywhere, anywhere. Okay, because anywhere. So you can add a location, but I'll just put this, here at the moment, just as a dummy location. Okay, then maybe I'll add ST, the street 123. Okay, so keep it like this, then change the alignment, okay, to right alignment. Okay, it should be aligned to the right. Let me select this, select all of this, okay, so that we can keep it small, because we want everything to fit nicely. So something like this can be here. Then we can duplicate this one and just bring it here and align it to the left, or no, to the right. What am I saying? To the left, rather. Sorry. Anyway, then this can be the time. So we can just simply say 8 a.m. okay, to maybe 12 p.m. GMT. Okay, if you want people to come early, you can also keep it how is it called, you can keep it 1 hour ahead so that people can come early. So this is it. This is the first style you can choose. Okay, the second style you can choose is you can make this one a bit thinner. Okay, so we can keep this to 1. Okay, then we can bring the location here. All right, we can keep the location here like this. Okay, then you can also maybe just come here and say, if it's going to be on Saturday, you can just say Saturday. Okay, so something like this. All right, and we can have the size increased, and we can also maybe just put the starting time, okay, for this one as well. So this one can also be here, and the font size can be the same. Okay, so something like this, and make sure everything is aligned. So this is the other way you can also go about it. Okay, so we've seen very nice copy style, paste it over here, and we'll keep it centered. Okay, so you can see how beautiful this looks. So let's select everything. Okay, select everything and move it to the top a little bit. If you're struggling with the position, you can just make sure what is in the center is centered. Okay, so you can make sure these ones are centered, and it should guide you on the other things. Okay, so it should guide you. So you can see you can use an arrow key as well. Very interesting. All right, I'll zoom in a little bit and keep it like this. All right, and keep this to the center as well. Okay, so we can also put something like save the date at the top over here. Okay, so we can just save the date. Okay, yeah, and if you want to use a script font for this, I think it's fine. You can use a script font for this one. So we can come here to font, and we can play with maybe any script font of your choice. Maybe let's just search for script. Okay, and there are so many options in here you can play with. Okay, just make sure you are choosing something that matches with your design style. Okay, this one works, and we can change the position of this one to 0%. Okay, so we keep this to 0. Okay, and we can just come here like this, and we can just add the E, so that's not save that, it should be save the date. So I'll select all of this, bring it down a little bit. Okay, and we'll just put here, and we'll increase the size a little bit, and we can also bring this here, duplicate it, and say together, okay, with our families. Okay, save the date together. I don't know if it sounds good, but look, you can always use what you want to use. Now the last thing we want to do is add some rings. Okay, so just come here and search for rings. Okay, there's so many options in here. We have the silver rings, if that's what you're going to, if that's what you want. Okay, you can just put it here, increase the size, and just drop it down a little bit. You know, that's very beautiful. Okay, or if you want to go with a golden ring, I think this ring in particular looks very interesting to me, so we can add it. Okay, and make sure you're selecting it and bringing it down over here. So we can just duplicate this page. In fact, let's just duplicate this page. Okay, so I come here, I duplicate the page, and I can delete this one. Okay, and just use a golden ring. So something like this is also cool. So this is what we have been able to do. I hope this was very easy to follow. With that being said, I would like to invite you to my special community. The link can be found in the description box below. And just in case you are on the free version of Canva, look, it's very easy. I have a link in the description box below that can help you upgrade to Canva Pro for free. You don't have to pay for it. Try Canva Pro for free. Okay, and the last thing I want you to do is that if you want to save so much time, I have a link to so many templates I've designed in Canva, which you can also get for free. So check all of these 3 things out. And the name is Benjamin. Always remember, there is no limit to creativity, and I should see you in my next video.